On 12 June 2025, the Singapore Tenants United for Fairness issued a public statement addressing what it called a systemic crisis in Singapore's retail rental environment, particularly affecting small and medium-sized enterprises. The cooperative, which represents over 700 local business owners, responded directly to recent comments made by landlords, particularly Irvin Yu, Chief Strategy Officer of CapitaLand Group, regarding rising commercial rents. While acknowledging shared concerns with landlords, such as manpower shortages and rising operational costs, SGTUFF sharply criticized what it sees as misleading data and entrenched market structures that obscure the real challenges facing SMEs in the F&B, retail, and service sectors. The group argued that unsustainable rent is the single most damaging factor for small businesses, pointing out inflexible tenancy terms that fail to adapt during economic downturns. In a pointed response to Yu's remark that he never heard a tenant complain their rent was too low, SGTUFF sarcastically quipped, "We have never heard any landlord complaining that rentals are too high either." The group emphasized that occupancy cost, which should ideally fall between 5 to 15% of revenue, is a critical measure for business sustainability. SGTUFF referenced comparative data showing that, while Link REIT in Hong Kong has an OC of 13.1%, CapitaLand Integrated Commercial Trust and Fraser's Centrepoint Trust in Singapore have much higher OCs of 17.1% and 16%, respectively. These figures, according to SGTUFF, reflect the unsustainable burden placed on SMEs. The group also pointed to the 3,047 F&B business closures recorded in 2024 and Q1 2025, as well as a 11 June 2025 Business Times article on rising retail vacancies, to illustrate the growing severity of the issue. SGTUFF advocated for the revision of current rental structures, particularly in large malls. It proposed replacing the high fixed rent model with one based on a lower base rent and a higher turnover component, which would allow rent to adjust in line with revenue and help businesses survive downturns. The statement included both short and long-term measures. Short-term proposals called for rental renewal caps tied to inflation, turnover-based rent structures for large landlords, penalties for keeping shop spaces vacant, and relief on foreign worker quotas or levies for small businesses. Long-term measures included revisiting national land use policy to ensure more retail spaces are available for socially conscious entities and local SMEs. SGTUFF also raised concerns about how aggregated data from agencies like Singstat and URA mask the struggles of smaller tenants. A poll of 109 SMEs in F&B, retail, and service sectors found that 96% had never received rent reductions in the past 5 years. The group proposed that public data sets should be disaggregated to provide clearer insight into the real rental burden borne by small businesses. The statement concluded with a call for good faith dialogue and transparent data between tenants and landlords, emphasizing that mutual success is essential for both parties.